Welcome and good morning, everyone. This is the April 8th, 2026 Philadelphia Art Commission meeting. My name is Catherine Liss, Acting Director of the Philadelphia Art Commission. This meeting is being recorded. By attending the meeting, you are given consent to be recorded. The agenda and meeting materials can be found on the public meetings page of the Philadelphia Art Commission website. You may use the QR code on the screen to access the web page. A link to the meeting recording will also be posted on the website once available. The agenda for today's meeting is listed for reference on this slide. We will be reviewing 5 items for administrative review, followed by 2 items for final review and 1 item for concept review. Please note that you are currently in room 18029. There are 2 doors along the sidewall to your left. These doors lead to the elevator lobby. Restrooms are in the lobby across from the elevators. In the event of an emergency, loudspeaker announcements will provide safety information. If you do not hear an announcement, please follow the directions of security officers and staff.
Good morning, everyone. I'll describe the meeting format. The next few slides will take us through the sequence of today's meeting. Full review items will start with an applicant presentation. Next slide, please. The commissioner discussion will follow the applicant's presentation. Next. Public comment will follow the commissioner's discussion. We will hear from the commentators in the room first, followed by those participants virtually. Next. The commission will vote following public comments and discussion. Next slide. Ground rules. Members of the public will have the opportunity to comment on agenda items. Questions and comments will be heard for each presentation. You might participate either in person, online, or by phone. If you have any difficulties participating, staff are available to assist you. Please be respectful of others and limit your comments to 2 minutes. Thank you.
Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to call on you one at a time. Please introduce yourself. Please remember to speak directly into your microphone, or for those who are joining remotely, to please unmute. Commissioner Troy.
Troy Leonard, present.
Commissioner James.
Jim Lowe, present.
Commissioner Pepon.
Good morning, everyone. Pepon Osorio, here I am, and I can hear and see everyone.
Commissioner Rebecca.
Good morning, Rebecca Siegel, present.
Commissioner Carmen.
Good morning, all. I'm Carmen Febo San Miguel, and I can hear and see everyone.
And Commissioner Rayed.
Good morning, Rayed Nasser, present.
Thank you and welcome. The Art Commission will be voting by roll call. I will ask commissioners for their vote verbally and individually at the end of each agenda item. Please remember to state your name before making comments so that people who are not here in person can tell who is speaking. I will now pass the microphone to Commission Chair Rayed to call the meeting to order.
All right, we now call the meeting to order and announce a quorum. We will proceed with the matters on the agenda. Vote on the report of signing and steering committee. Does anyone has any questions, concerns? Did you review it? Anyone from the public, any comments?
We have no raised hands.
Okay, this is, can we call motion for?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. It's concession vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay, our first item on the administrative agenda today is the continued conversation about the Otis bus shelter locations that we began reviewing last month. And Neil Gary should be on the call today to speak to the questions raised in the last meeting. Neil, if you are joining us remotely, please raise your hand. Okay, not currently seeing Neil in the audience, so I think we'll return to this one because we specifically wanted to have a dialogue with Mr. Gary about these. Okay. Our next item on the administrative agenda is the annual art conservation maintenance from the Association for Public Art. The Association for Public Art is requesting administrative approval for the conservation of 28 outdoor sculptures. For each artwork, an image and precise location have additionally been included in response to previous commissioner comments about these applications. The work is to be performed by Tati Art Conservation, Fairmount Park Conservancy, and Krylik Conservation. The work will commence in May 2026 if approved, and copies of the maintenance and condition reports will be submitted to the city's public art office upon their completion.
Catherine and all, I like to comment that I appreciate the addition of the images. It helps a lot.
Definitely. And the little comment where they are okay, even though I'm familiar with a lot of them, actually. Any comments? Yes, James.
So in the letter, page 1, item number 3, it says application of wax to bronze works and appropriate treatment to other media. What is defined as appropriate treatment to other media? There's a lot of stone sculptures. And this guy wanted to get an idea what is the appropriate treatment when it comes to dealing with stone, granite,
That's good. Yeah.
rock.
I'm not certain offhand, but I can say that there are, it's a very well-credentialed conservation
That's
team
not-
that is.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but that's not, that's, they didn't go into definition other than talking about bronze. It's more of a point of information considering we are talking about art here.
Yeah, good point. There is no one from the agents. Okay, so we covered for a little bit. Let's go to the next item and we'll come back to it. Is that okay? Awesome.
Pepon, I thought I saw you say something, but you're on mute.
Oh,
I can clarify, not that I know what it is. I mean, not that I know what the intention is, but I sit on the board of Association of Public Art, so I'm not sure if I'm able to speak. I know definitely not vote. But I will, I could give, comments since I'm a sculptor, I know about conservation and this matter. Will that help or we can move on?
The question was really a point of information rather than a contesting.
Yeah, I'm not contesting.
No,
okay.
I'm saying a point of information. I'm on
Yeah.
the architectural side. So just wanted to get an idea of when it comes to the stone type of sculptures and so forth, what is the appropriate way of preserving those? I mean, they did say bronze waxing and there's a certain procedure there.
I think it's based on the condition of the surface, but that's just me.
Reason being, as you mentioned, power washing, is it sandblasting? I mean, what does that do to the sculpture? That's why I'm.
No,
pointing that out.
I got your point. Yeah, I
But,
want to.
certain types of acids and just
Yeah.
point of information, what is the technique that's used, just in a broad sense?
Yeah.
We'll wait for.
So we wait
Mhm.
for Margaret to see if she has something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Neil Gary has joined us, so I will unmute him so he can speak to the bus shelters.
Okay, we do the first one, Cudman and Glendale Avenue. I think that's one of the primary ones.
Okay, Neil, you should be able to unmute yourself at this time.
Good morning, commissioners. Sorry for being late. Had some technical issues. So you said you wanted to review the location at Cotman and Glendale first.
Yes, please.
Are there any particular questions or issues you would like to
Yes.
raise?
Yes, James, please.
I think last month when we were reviewing this, I made a question about the distance from curb to the bus shelter. Looking at the plan,
Yeah,
I
usually,
think it's close to 15 feet from curb to, there's a
yeah,
there's a line that has
that's,
the W's on it. The question became, I do see where there's bollards to protect, somewhat the surrounding area of the bus shelter. However, this is a, gas station, thank you, Commissioner Rebecca. And to have 15 feet of sidewalk paving in front of the bus shelters, and as I mentioned in the last meeting, knowing how Philadelphians are in a hurry to get their $5 or $6 a gallon gas nowadays, somebody's gonna run their car in front. And what type of provisions or thoughts that you have, rather than having that, let's say, 4 feet from the curb or a shorter distance? It just seems like 15 feet obviously is almost, give it another 2 feet and you have a two-way driveway. That's right there.
okay, so,
This is,
I can, let me review the site or go step by step. So the standard in terms of distance to the curb for us is 18 inches from the curb, but we measure that from the roof, which is, we do everything on an AutoCAD plan. So the edge of the roof to the outside edge of the curb, the standard is 18 inches. And, different element, when you do that, different elements of the shelter are slightly different distance from the curb. I don't know if I can share my screen here, but the situation here at the gas station required this non-orthodox placement, and this happens a lot with gas stations. And if I can kind of go on a tangent here, we end up in a situation where in Philadelphia or large cities where a lot of really busy bus stops, especially in outlying neighborhoods where people are very transit dependent and have very long journeys, let's say from work to home, that these corners, right? The gas stations are at the corner, but you also have a really busy intersection with a really busy bus stop with a lot of passengers, right? And that's sort of conflicting for us because gas stations are just like one large driveway, right? And it's not the best place to wait, but we want to give people something a little better than waiting on the apron of a gas station. That's what we're trying to do here. And when I mentioned that this is one large driveway, the issue we get to here is sight lines. So I'm not an engineer, but there's engineering standards for sight lines. They're stated in the AASHTO Green Book. So when engineers sign off on our placement, they review sight lines and they use that AASHTO Green Book guidance to set and review the sight lines. So, is it possible for me to share my screen on this platform or not?
Unfortunately, no, Neil.
Okay, so you can kind of see it. So, where you see the snippet from the AutoCAD plan, you can see that you can kind of see that the shelter is placed between two driveways. And if you see the vehicle that's kind of coming out under the north arrow, you will see that there's a line that's faintly labeled sight line, and then we got that intersects another line called sight line. So the shelter is placed beyond the intersecting line of these sight lines, the point where they intersect, so that it doesn't block the vision of a driver trying to maneuver onto Cotman Avenue, which is, it's a busy street, and a lot of Cotman is on our sort of corridors in the city that are most prone for crashes, our high injury network. So those are some things to take into consideration. So I think going forward, the question here is it's kind of binary. It's like it either stays or it goes away because because of the sightline issue, we can't move it to the curb. We'd love to move it to the curb because, as you can see, we'd have to trench less. So do we pursue this or do we not pursue this? I think that's the question we have to review here.
Can you confirm, this is Rebecca Siegel. Can you confirm from the picture how far away it is from the curb? Because I don't see it as being 15 feet, Commissioner James.
There's a dimension to the right-hand side.
Yeah, let me look in my
That's 15 feet.
plan set here if they noted the distance to the curb.
16.
So it is about 15 feet.
Can you show?
It's a little less than 15 feet. It's 13 feet 5 inches. If you measure it from the roof to the outer edge of the curb, it's 13 feet 5 inches. It's 16 feet 2 inches if you measure from the edge of the bench.
So I'm looking for the win-win in this. So I thank you for, I'm sorry. Thank you for justifying the reason why there's a setback of the bus shelter from the curb of a sizable distance. What prevents a car from going in front of the bus shelter? That's my concern. That's all.
Okay.
I get it with the sight line now that I see the X is going, I mean, the dash X is going from one side to the other side. You had probably two curb exit and entry points, and to be able to see ongoing traffic totally makes sense. Great that there's engineering standards. But
Well, can I ask a question?
yes.
This is Troy speaking. Neil, the truck that you show just below the north arrow, the one that you said needs the sight line, is there a curb cut at the curb where the truck is headed to? Is that how you exit the gas station?
Yeah, so there's I'm like double checking on Street View and satellite imagery, but yes, so there's basically two driveways, two curb cuts, and the piece of sidewalk that the shelter is located, or where the proposed shelter is located, is in between those driveways. So
the
there's
question is- I'm sorry. Go ahead.
there's two sight lines, because Cotman is a two-way street. So there's two driveways and two sight lines. And that's why you have that intersecting point between the two sight lines.
The question is, what reason would someone have to cross the sidewalk when there are curb cuts on either side of it?
Sorry,
But
Philadelphians.
But the bollards come around.
They only protect the sides of the, I mean, a simple way of resolving this might be put one of those concrete planters it like, you know, to the side of each one in the sidewalk, I don't think anybody in their right mind would want to run into a concrete planter that, I mean, it's got planting in it and stuff like that. I mean, that's an idea.
Some deterrent. some-
Mhm.
Exactly.
I mean, look at the case in point, when you look at Target, the store, they've got great big red balls and other things in front of their, you know, things that in a soft way deter anybody driving into their front entrances.
Yep, no,
You know, rather than like Comcast building that has the, steel, you know, bollards, you know, that's a lot of glass to hit, and they're not gonna allow that, so just, you know, trying to be like Comcast, protect our people's.
So Neil, did you hear James' comments? Is that something can be?
So at the moment, no. I know that I have colleagues that are looking into having a more robust planter program in the city. The issue is always maintenance, like, you know, how do you prevent it from becoming a trash can, and who keeps the planting nice? But I do like the idea because it's more robust and it's more aesthetic and prettier, right? And it's more robust than the bollards and more visible than the bollards. So it's not a bad idea. Um, we would have to have the ability to do that. We'd have to have like a planter program. I think the shelters are very robust, so you don't want to like ding your car against it because the shelter usually wins. We actually had a couple, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, a tanker truck going into a gas station drove too close to the overhang of a roof of a shelter, and it pierced the tank, and nothing happened to the shelter. So, you know, it's a big truck. And so there's that. And then on this location, I don't think anybody would drive in front of the shelter unless they wanted to park there, which people park all over the sidewalks in Philly. That's true. But we usually we have other shelters in this configuration, and we usually haven't had trouble with this configuration. We have had shelters hit by cars, but they're usually by cars that are moving fast, and they're shelters that are set at the curb. Those are the shelters that we've lost the most of, or that we've had damaged. Though usually the shelter, this is a robust design. This is why we pay so much for bus shelters, right? So that we could have a robust design that puts up with the wear and tear. So I think the only mitigating tools we have available at our disposal are the bollards and the shelter itself. It's sort of mass and presence. So I think, like I said earlier, it becomes a question of should we pursue this, or is this too wild a proposal, and we should cancel this.
Well, cancel is a little bit too rough, but if it's a way that you guys can modify something, you know what I mean? I know it's needed on that interception, but
Question, do you have a similar successful overview, one that's in place that we could compare?
Yes, we've installed in this configuration at other gas stations, or similar configurations at other gas stations, parking lots. Situations like this, I'd have to go through our catalog or database to figure out where they are and which ones. Since with 500 shelters, I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I know we have other configurations like this, and we have not had issues. But it's because of the bollards, I believe. And just for context, these bollards are metal bollards, and with the bright yellow sheathing, plastic sheathing on top. So they're you
May
can
I
see
ask
them.
a question? So that we're not giving too much time to this and we can cut to the chase. I live in Mount Airy, and there's a Sunoco station at the corner of Stenton and Mount Airy. I just pulled up on the Google map thing, the bus shelter. It's one concrete block away from the curb, which is about 6 feet. That contradicts what your plan is. Nobody can drive their car in front of this bus shelter. However, in this case, somebody can. We swore an oath to protect health and welfare of the citizens. This isn't protecting the health and welfare of the citizens by having a car, again, able to cross in front of a pedestrian walkway. Well, it's just contradictory.
Can we suggest that
I'll just-
bollards are added to this
No, they
configuration?
have bollards for around it. I'm just talking about that distance. I get it about the engineering sight lines and so forth, but I'm seeing an existing bus shelter somewhere in my neighborhood that is in 15 feet from the curb. It's 6 feet from the curb. Now, if you want to take this one real, well, we can go through the other ones. I'm gonna vote no for this if there's no safe way to protect people sitting on the bench.
So we don't want to take two. Okay, so this one, I think we need to go back to the drawing table. Neil.
Okay.
On number 1. Can we go to the next one? Okay. On 49 Chester Avenue, how do you guys see this one?
I'm good with that one.
I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
Raising Sun in Cutman Avenue. This one was. I'm okay with that one. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it. Number 3,
Typical.
Troy. Yeah, it looked typical. Yeah.
Now, just as a part of conversation, I kind of get this one being set back a little bit because it's right in front of a,
The sword. Yeah.
yeah, and sewer inlet. So I know there's going to be some caution when the bus comes and lowers maybe a ramp for someone who's in a wheelchair, that's motorized to
Yeah.
be able to gain access to the bus. It kind of makes sense in this case to have it. No car can ride in front of
Yeah.
that distance, so I'm good with
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Number 5. Oh no, that's it.
Back to number 4, is
Number
the
4.
picture, the visual the same as I'm just looking at
Oh
the
yeah,
drawing.
good
Looks much
catch.
closer in the drawing.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Number 4. It looks much closer to the. Oh, is it? Oh no, no. Okay, but. Oh no, but there's a curve.
Oh, it's,
Exactly.
sorry, is it on the other side? So
Okay.
it's backwards.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the street.
Okay. Got confused.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're good.
It's set back
12'6"
Yes.
behind the sidewalk.
Yeah.
There's a bit of Photoshop things going on here with the pictorial versus the plan. But again, this is not a sidewalk where cars are driving. There's a parking lot beyond
Yeah.
and then there's bushes and things like that.
Yeah. All right. I guess. How can we do this? Can we approve the 2, 3, and 4, and then skip? Okay. So how we reward this? It says.
So my understanding is that there's consensus to approve stations 2, 3, and 4, but to disapprove the first station.
Perfect, yeah. All right, is this concession, so can we have any public comments? Okay, so can I have a motion to approve 2, 3, and 4 from this item?
Motion
To approve 2, 3, and 4 only. Second,
Motion.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Okay, well, Gary, one quick thing. I forgot the name of the county in Jersey. They do have shelters that they have solar panels on the top, believe it or not. And at night they have lights. It's just really cool. Is that something that you guys can work on?
Yeah, so if you the number 4 that you're looking at right now, if you look at the one of the top corners, it says solar power.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, good.
if you look at the actual CAD drawing, you'll see that there's no trenching for electricity. So solar is our preferred mode of installation because since these are surface installed, as long as the sidewalk is in good condition, our civil work is minimal and it's much faster to install them versus when we're like on closer to center city, sort of in canyons, streets or streets without good sunlight, then we have to trench for electricity. So it takes a little longer, and it's a little, more, it's a higher impact, right? To trench, to demolish sidewalk, replace sidewalk, lay conduit. So we do prefer the solar powered wherever we can put them. And if you walk around and you look at our shelters, the PV packet is on the roof. So if you look through the roof, which is transparent, you'll be able to see the battery and panel packet.
Okay, I stay focused next time. All right, thank you so much, Gary. Neil, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Neil. We will return to our second administrative review item, the annual art conservation maintenance. And Commissioner James, I believe Marguerite Anglin is in attendance now and may be able to address the question. If you could restate it for her, please.
Thank you. Hi, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Commissioner, Jim, before you start, I wanted to bring everyone's attention to the Association for Public Art. On behalf of the city, has a grant-funded program where they maintain a number of artworks per year, and it's just a regular maintenance program. And so they submit a list of 20 or 25 or so artworks that they're submitting every year, and that is fully managed by the APA. And I believe Charlotte Cohen, the executive director, is on the line now and might be able to answer specific questions. But I'm here if needed as well.
I just had a general question because item number 3, where it said application of wax to bronze work, well, I can understand that. That's but then it says an appropriate treatment to other media. There's a lot of stone, granite type of sculptures. Just wanted to get a sense of what type of preservative or treatment, maintenance go on those that does the cleaning, but also protects all the details that the sculptors have put into making that creation.
It's a good question. I wonder if Charlotte is available to answer
Sure.
specifics. Great.
I don't know if you can hear me, and I'm on camera if you.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Happy to be on camera as well, and glad to join you all. I don't know if you can see me or not, but for those of you who I have not met, I'm Charlotte Cohen. I'm the executive director of the Association for Public Art. And for many decades, APA, as we're known, has been maintaining numerous city-owned sculptures in public spaces. And this list is a list of this annual conservation or maintenance that we do. And for each material, there's very specialized treatment. So if it's bronze and there or stone or wood, depending on what the material is, mosaic or ceramic tile, it really depends. So it's specified depending on the object and the requirements. And generally speaking, for just a general annual maintenance, there might be a power washing at the appropriate power level that a trained expert conservator who we contract with is working on the sculpture to clean it, to remove debris, to remove nests if there are nesting material or other kinds of things that shouldn't be there, for instance, and then sometimes applying a protective coating of some sort that, for instance, with the bronze, it's a hot wax coating that will protect the object for the year throughout the various weather cycles that we experience from freeze to thaw and back again, if you will. And then for some of the objects, you'll see that there's additional, I think it's for 8 objects, additional conservation treatment. I have to get it up on my screen, but it's mortar replacement might be, for example, one thing, or an additional coating of some sort, specialized coating. And again, it depends on the object. And also access can be an issue in terms of bringing in equipment to reach an object. So this is an extraordinary public-private partnership that APA has held with the city for many decades, as I said, to really do this work in service to the city, to the citizens of Philadelphia, so that our public sculpture, for which we are so well known, is kept in beautiful condition. And annual maintenance is the most important thing we can do in terms of maintaining those objects, some which are over 100 years old.
James?
Again, my question was really for general knowledge of, I mean, it was stated about the bronze and how that's clean. There's another sculpture in my neighborhood. Okay. Number 20, called Fingerspan, weathering steel, 9 foot high, 5 foot wide, 59 feet long, along the nature trail of Allen's Lane.
Mm-hmm.
How is that preserved if that's weathered steel?
Yeah, great question.
Again, just general question.
Yeah. Well, it's a pedestrian bridge. You see a photo of it there by Jody Pinto. It was installed in 1987, so it's aged. And it's a functional work of, it's a bridge. And so it is, and it's made of industrial materials, this Corten or weathering steel. And actually, last year, a tree fell on it and the city removed the tree. And we've had a conservator do some exam of it. So there's graffiti removal that happens, and that can be with power washing or sometimes a chemical application to remove it. The weathering steel means that it is meant to change with the weather, to be this kind of orangey brown, beautiful modulation of the surface in different colors, and texture is rather rough, so it's not a pristine finish, and that's what it's meant to look like. And then there are those screen panels that you see in the photo and may have experienced yourself by walking on it. And a couple of those were damaged by the tree that fell on the bridge, and we are working with a conservator to get an estimate on what it would cost. And the most difficult thing is that they will have to hand carry materials in and out of that site because it is really difficult to access. And we are also looking to raise money for that, to do that work, because I think, Marguerite, that you mentioned that we're grant funded for this work, and I would just like to correct that statement. We don't have grant money. This is funding that APA provides to do this work out of our own budget, and we are trying to raise money for a specific, incredibly expensive and difficult work like this to repair it. Actually, it is still accessible to the public. It's very safe as is, but we need to make sure that it gets repaired. So the top overpass area overhang is repaired. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you for the explanation.
Troy?
Hello. Hello, Charlotte. This is Troy. I just have a follow-up question about the Jody Pinto work. You mentioned that a tree fell on it and it was examined by a conservator. This is also a functional bridge. So I'm wondering, has sort of structural inspection been done since that event? Or is that something that your department is responsible for?
Well, it's a city-owned work and it's on city property. So as I said, the city did remove the tree that fell or the limbs, and our conservator has been out there to look at it, to do an inspection. It is structurally sound, according to the inspection that took place last year after the bridge, after the tree was removed, and the conservator is going back out there probably this summer to have another look and to come up with a better estimate about what it would cost to repair it. But it is, to the best of our knowledge, structurally sound.
And one other question in regards to number 12, the John Kenness Labor Monument. Is that is the maintenance only power washing, or
That,
because that's more of a landscape work?
right, I would call that more like an installation with multiple parts. Is it possible to scroll back to that, number 12, to John Kindness's Labor Monument? Thank you for that. Yeah. So you can see there's multiple parts. It has pavers, it has wood benches, it has those bronze button form tables, honoring different labor movements and individuals. And so each of those elements require, and it has the terrazzo, blue terrazzo or mosaic form on the ground. And each of those requires different treatment. So with the benches, we sometimes have to replace parts of those benches. They're wood. Sometimes it's graffiti removal or treatments. And with the bronze, it's treated with power washing and hot wax, I believe, to protect it, which protects it. Those button parts, the table parts of the installation. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
Any public comments?
We have no raised hands.
So are we okay to approve this? Can I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
James, I do see you worry. I want to make
Before we
sure.
put this to rest, I just have a general question, maybe Marguerite could ask. For installations like this, is there, I mean, it's great that you have a maintenance program, but considering that I'm thinking about the bridge and what you mentioned, something that's functional like that, is there a regular, and I know this would be probably Parks and Recreation or our folks in the sort, is there a plan where they go out on an annual or semi-annual basis and go through a checklist of, yeah, we don't have to close this off, or it's fine, or something like that for, I'm trying to think of if there's any other artful, functional type of item like that. It might be a question for Parks and Rec or for both, you considering this is art, and then Parks and Rec maintenance probably takes care of, has their engineers go out and inspect things when there's an incident, a nature incident by weather that causes something. Is there a program about that?
There's not a program for kind of those one-off acts of God that would not necessarily be, anticipated, like any other city, bridge or, walkway or, as you know, we don't have like people on patrol or anything like that, patrolling different
Well,
elements, but.
Park rangers or something like that, do they?
That's a question for
Oh,
Parks and Recreation
yeah.
in terms of
Okay.
like how often people are in the different parks spaces to be able to patrol or observe things like that.
Matter of
But,
fact, we're going to be talking about a bridge a little later, so.
But, as you're probably aware, because Creative Philadelphia came last month with with some works as well. So we work very closely with APA and with Charlotte and Laura. The city has its own program annually maintaining artworks as well. It really does take a team effort. The city has over 1,000 artworks, as Charlotte referred to, of many different mediums, and some of them do fall in the regular bridge, those type of things as well. So they're more utilitarian and industrial in that way. Thank you.
I have a question for you, Marguerite.
Oh, I
Tati-
might just, sorry, this is Charlotte. I might just jump in to add, thank you, Marguerite, but Philadelphia is really special, and I think it's important to realize this. I had Marguerite's job as Director of Percent for Art in New York City, and there was no maintenance plan. This public-private partnership with APA is really unique, and it's 40 years old. It's an award-winning program that we have, and we should be really proud of the work that goes on and that Philadelphia is able to maintain its extraordinary collection. So thank you to Marguerite and Parks and Rec for being incredible partners on this with us. And we are in service to the city. That's what our organization does. And we've also been responsible for commissioning and funding and citing many of these objects. So we also feel this great responsibility, of course, to care for them and to jump in this way and have this program that's annual and ongoing.
Thank you, Charlotte. We would not be able to do it without you, so thank you.
Charlotte, Rebecca Siegel here. Thank you for all this great work that you continue to do. I'm curious about the conservators chosen. I see Tati is from New York. Is Krelik also from New York City or from here?
No, so the conservators that the city has on our retainer are from the area. So Krelik Conservation, Heritage Conservation, who you see doing a lot of the artworks as well.
That's what I was just curious. 'Cause
They're local.
I know there's a lot of local conservators, so I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I
and
know
we
he's had a relationship with Tati for many years, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
has. Please do, Charlotte. I think I heard you speaking. Charlotte.
Oh, I was muted, but yes, that's correct. Thank you, Marguerite. Tati has been the annual maintenance and conservation conservator for 40 years as a family-owned business. It's very small. We could not get the kind of contract and let's say contract bid that we get from anyone else. I can assure you it'd be really difficult. And it's because of the close relationship and their incredible devotion and love of this work in Philadelphia that they do it. So again, it's a really special situation here. And we also, yes, use Krelik and Heritage Conservation, and we also work with the Fairmount Park Conservancy conservators very closely as well.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out for Commissioner James too, on the Tati, I don't know if you've seen, there's 7 very detailed illustrative treatments proposed for those specific ones. So that's kind of informational stuff that you might have been looking at too.
Yeah, I'm glad you noted that. Those are special projects. Every year we do something a little more intensive, a little more costly. It's an added cost to the contract that we pay for, APA pays for. And so this is in part because we're seeing things every single year and noting what needs more loving care than just an annual washing and waxing, let's say.
Thank you.
All right, so can we have a consensus vote on this now? All in favor to approve?
Aye.
Motion is already done.
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Abstain. Okay.
Thank you, Marguerite and Charlotte.
So any opposed? Only one absent. So, thank you.
Okay, our third item for administrative review is the Falls Bridge Rehabilitation Project. The Philadelphia Streets Department and JMT Engineering are requesting administrative review of rehabilitation work to the Falls Bridge over the Schuylkill River. The Falls Bridge was built in 1895 and was added to the Philadelphia Register of Historic Places in 2022. The scope of work is primarily structural, but does also include restoration of the existing ornamental pedestrian railing, as well as street lighting improvements, and repainting the existing superstructure steel in a uniform color. The bridge will be closed during repairs. The applicant team has provided a vehicular traffic detour plan and aids to navigation for boats that have been developed for the project. The work is being done in coordination and with the approval of the Philadelphia Historical Commission. And
Do we have anyone for this?
yes. Okay, Mike, you should be able to unmute yourself.
I can. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. I am Mike Gravenstein and representing JMT for this project.
I got just not an artistic question, but
Go ahead, James.
No,
I'm not sure if he's
this
gonna do
question
any
came
present.
up, I think yesterday at City Council by that district councilman. I think the
James,
last-
can you speak to the mic? I
I think
can
the
hardly
last
hear you.
page of the
Thank
of the presentation shows the schedule. So this bridge is going to be out of commission from the winter of 2026 to the summer of 2029.
Wow. I didn't see
No,
that
I
last
mean,
page.
we're supposed to talk about the artistic part, but wow.
Traffic is gonna be a nightmare.
Want it done right or fast? One or the other.
Well, look what they did at I-95 and Riverview. I better stop. No, just, why so long?
It takes a while to repair a 100-year-old steel bridge and paint it, and to adhere to the historic preservation requirements of that bridge, and make sure it's structurally safe for another 100 years. It's over a river, so it's
Mhm.
complicated construction. There's a lot of complications to it. It's very sensitive to its existing structure, so we're using like round head bolts instead of rivets. It's a lot of sensitivity taken to its improvements, versus a span over 95 where they can easily tarp it up and paint it. This is a more sensitive project and a difficult area to work on, so it takes a while to do it. There's repairs to the spans too that need to be assessed from below over the river.
So the bicycle is gonna be also a detour, or they're gonna, I'm trying to, I'm a little confused with this map. The bikers can still use the bridge during construction, or no?
No, it will be closed. So pedestrians, vehicles, bicyclists will need to detour around
Oh, okay. I was like,
if they don't want to loop around the school.
Again, not that it's part of our investigative purview, I guess, yes. Do you plan to have any gaps in the construction? I mean, is there anything that's going to hold it up? I mean, if we're talking about 3 years or something like that. I mean,
No. Are you talking about
just
gaps in
going out to
construction?
public bid and how long it takes to get a contract and you know, go through shop drawings and review? Is there a separate review by the Historic Commission, by the contractor when they submit shop drawings and so forth?
Yes, there is a requirement for the contractor to have a historic consultant on their team, who will be working hand in hand with the Historic Commission and SHPO, to make sure that
Oh,
what is being installed is sensitive to historic conditions of the bridge.
so you have to have shop drawings approved by SHPO also?
There will be, what's sensitive to historic preservation will be shared to either SHPO or the, Historic Commission or
Yeah.
a PennDOT designee who will review those shop drawings. Someone on the state side, city side will approve that work for historic preservation needs. I can get that exact language. I can bring that up on here. Because I have the specs here in front of me.
No, it's just a question. A lot of people say it takes that long to do a project, and sometimes they don't know what we call the hurdles that are involved in
Yes.
that, project management. And you look at the schedule and the sequence of what has to go to where and get approval and so forth. Now I get the length of time. Because once all those sequential documentation is approved, then the contractor can go. But this is an outdoor job also, so winter months will be very severe. I have a general question, and number 5, it says clean and repoint masonry piers and provide scour protection at base of piers. During your discovery, did you guys have a marine unit look at the foundation of those piers? And
We did assess that the scour protection is riprap that's placed at the base of those piers. Investigations show that that's missing, and to prevent further erosion from those piers, that's what the scour protection is. It's going to be large boulders placed below the water line to prevent further erosion at the piers.
thank you. At least I'll be able to share with my neighbors why the bridge is closed for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, is the new Pantone color, is that the original color or close to it?
That's close to the original color, yes.
Okay, any public comments?
No, we do have one raised hand.
And I have a quick question, Pepon.
Great, Pepon. What's your question? Go ahead. Please.
Has there been any consideration to the traffic, both pedestrians and bike, that this is going to cause as a result of the closure of the bridge?
Only so far as what you see on the screen with the detour map, and providing them with a pretty lengthy detour, but that has been worked out with the city throughout the development of this process and project. I do believe there's another pedestrian bridge between that orange loop, but I believe the access is I don't think there's a direct connection for pedestrians to one of those intermediate bridges on there. So that is the existing pedestrian bike path route. It's been vetted by the city and PennDOT for this work.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike. This is Troy. I just have a couple of questions. Under project scope, the second bullet point, you mentioned that the reconstruction of the concrete sidewalk and deck, atop replacement floor beams, etc., will not require stringers. So are you removing the existing steel stringers and not replacing them? And if so, will the missing stringers alter the appearance of the building, of the bridge at all?
The goal is to keep any structural materials that are intact and structurally sound in place. If a stringer needs to be removed or any other piece of the steel needs to be removed, it's going to be replaced with the same size beam, the same look, the same style, and the same configuration. So the project goal is preservation, not adding new steel pieces to the bridge.
Okay, and the only other question I have is on the last page, you mentioned street lighting improvements. What is the scope of that? Are you adding new street lighting, or
Better,
replacing existing lighting?
yeah, just replacement in kind with newer, brighter fixtures that adequately light the space, the street and the sidewalks. There is no plans for like accent lighting. It's a replacement in kind for lights on that bridge.
Rebecca Siegel here. I'm just curious where in the process for the National Register of Historic Places is the bridge? Is this like, when is that, does that conclude? I mean, is it, I guess it was, if it's eligible, does that mean it has been proposed?
I do not know where that is in that process. I do know that it is on the Pennsylvania Register of 2022, as of 2022.
Oh, that it is?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, because it says eligible here.
But
So I didn't know if
national.
that meant it was in process.
I'm not sure if it's been submitted to the National Register, but it's as of 2022, it is on the Philadelphia Register.
Cool.
Okay. Public comments?
Hold on, just one
James,
second.
sorry.
Pepon again.
Pepon, yeah.
Can there be any consideration of adding bike stands to the area so then bikers can, since now they can't cross, and I'm assuming that the parking lot that is right next where the bikers put the put the cars, that's going to be also closed. Can there be bike stands distributed around the area so bikers can have an opportunity to lock their bikes and walk at the same time? Since the bridge is impossible, the bridge actually, it's the way of it provides an opportunity to loop around Martin Luther King's Drive and Kelly Drive. But since that's not going to happen, there should be some bike stands for people who can't, who need to rest.
And certainly they recommend that. Go ahead, sorry.
The decision to add bike stands I would defer that to the city for this project. That was not in the scope to add bike stands around the Orange Detour Loop.
So that is a recommendation that I would like to make.
Thank you, Pepon. James?
Just, again, this is kind of like out of our, coloring lines, I would say, out of the boundaries of it. When a project like this, I know comes to you guys for design, that's one thing. But working with the department, did they work with other city departments? I'm thinking when you close a bridge like this, it has an impact on the fire emergency vehicles and fire trucks and things like that that might have to cross the bridge depending on where it's going. Was there some type of coordination, I guess, with?
There was public meetings for the general public. I can look back through the history of meetings. This project has been in planning and development for 10 years.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure every city agency has seen it at some point.
Okay.
And we've got, yeah.
It was kind of covered and someone probably from the managing director's office on the utilities and transportation has coordinated with public safety about this being closed and how that gets rerouted. There's one thing about traffic being rerouted. It's another thing about life safety vehicles being rerouted for their necessity to get around. And it appears that the part of the rerouting is to take people over to City Line Avenue's bridge. So that's about 3-4 minutes away. So that, but it's a response time then. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have one member of the public? Timothy, you should be able to speak now.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. So I just wanted to chime in real quickly. I am a cyclist and I use this bridge. Um, it's going to be inconvenient. As a cyclist, it's not as bad as this 8 mile picture would have people believe. It is possible to use the Strawberry Mansion Bridge or the City Avenue Bridge. It's just going to add like 3-ish miles depending on which one you take. And you know, on a bike, that's really not so bad. You know, I can deal with that. But for pedestrians, an 8 mile detour is just no pedestrian is walking 8 miles out of their way. That's just impassable at that point. And the other options are not pedestrian friendly. It's doable, but I would not encourage anyone to try it on foot. That being said, the bridge itself is just it really, really needs to be fixed up. You know, it's obvious when you're on foot or on a bike that it's just not in good shape. And it just needs to happen. I wish it wouldn't take so long. You know, I know everybody else expressed some concern about that. It's just, you know, it is the way it is. And with that in mind, I'd also want to say that today in the newspaper, I've read that certain city council members want to delay this project for political reasons so it doesn't overlap with their reelections. But this just really needs to be happen. It just needs to happen. It needs to get done. This is infrastructure that we all need, and there's just no excuse to delay it. So we just got to bite the bullet and get it done. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you. Okay, we do have
Anyone?
one other raised hand.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, Sloan, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for having me. Everybody knows me now. I'm taking Legacy Roots Housing Initiative. I'm the founder. So what I'm hearing is a clear gap between identified public need and available funding to execute the work. As a Philadelphia-based WOSB-led platform focused on modular-ready construction and community-centered implementation, this is an important reality for me to hear. So I would like for you to thank you guys for having me. And what also I'm hearing is that it's long-term benefit for the public to often runs into implementation gaps between identified need and available funding. That is an important reality, especially for neighborhood serving construction and reservation work. And needless to say less, if you would like, that alignment matters deeply to my work in Philadelphia, and I would like to be able to support what y'all have going on at this time. And that's about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, any more questions, comments? So this is gonna be a consensus vote, so can I have a motion? Do we have a motion?
Motion, if anybody's ever driven over this bridge, it bounces. It bounces.
Flexible.
It bounces.
Thank you. Anyone second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Troy. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Carmen, okay. Aye. Okay, any opposed? None? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item.
Okay, our next item for administrative review is the Love Park Welcome Center ramp enclosure. In Philadelphia, Parks and Recreation is requesting administrative approval for work to the existing access ramp at the Love Park Saucer. The scope is to enclose the area under the ramp on all sides and install new doors on either end lengthwise to allow for storage of park items. All newly installed materials will match existing designs along the edge of the building and will not extend beyond the ramp's existing area. And we have Andrew Emma here to speak to this project as well. Andrew, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me today. Yes, I am the park manager for Love Park for Parks and Recreation, and I will be able to answer any questions regarding this project at the Saucer.
Looks good, it's needed. Improvement, yeah. Anyone has any question?
Just curious what kind of pieces get stored under there. It seems like a well-needed closet, outdoor closet.
Yeah. So we are in the process of, towards the end of it, hopefully, of selecting a concessionaire for the Saucer building. And some of the areas inside the lower portion of the building that our staff currently uses for storage of, different, it might be play items, a couple like work items like power washer, things like that, are in rooms that are promised to the concessionaire as part of their concession agreement. So mostly it would be things that we don't mind getting a little bit dirty, things that you'd be okay with storing in some kind of little outside shed or something like that. So rakes, brooms, like I said, we do have 2 power washers, our like Connect 4, Jumbo Connect 4 and Jumbo Lego items and things like that, our cornhole boards, stuff of that sort that can kind of create more space in the building and even allow for easier access for our staff to get the stuff out to the park when we're using it.
I have a general question, and I will try to stay on point, but does anyone know if the ramp was part of the original design?
Can you speak more directly to the mic,
when it
please?
was added?
I did reach out to Historical Commission staff. The ramp is not original, but I don't have the date of its installation.
Okay. I mean, I walked by there this morning and the ramp, I didn't think it was part of the original design because it's a completely different aesthetic. But the one thing that it allows the pedestrian to see is the complete form of the building. You can see underneath the ramp and it's transparent. And I think that's important for maintaining the integrity of that building. What this wall or what the storage does, and I understand the necessity for providing storage, but it really changes the integrity of the building because you're not able to sort of follow the form at the base all the way around. It's now blocked by this sort of solid wall. And I'm just wondering, is that concern enough to sort of question whether this is the right thing to do?
I can speak to the ramp was part of, I think it was a requirement, and I'm not entirely sure, but when the building got renovated as part of the park renovations in 2015 to 2018, I think part of the need for the building was to have an access point for handicap or other individuals. So that was part of the, I guess, improvements that were approved during that period of time. So the ramp is already in existence. There is a portion of the ramp that overhangs on the northern tip of it that actually hangs out further than what is safe from an ADA compliance perspective. Simpler terms, like an individual who is sight impaired would not be able to know that there was an obtrusion kind of sticking out. And so part of the impetus for this as well was to correct that and to make sure there was infrastructure at the correct point at which an individual will be able to know that there was a structure coming up. I'm not sure if you want me to speak directly to the site portion of it. I mean, I think my opinion would be that it is difficult to see already with the ramp's existence. You don't get a lot of the continuity that I think you're speaking to on that portion of the building anyway because of the ramp. I don't think that the enclosure portion really impacts that so much. because it's kind of it's shrouded in shade all day long and is not really very visible in its current form.
Yeah, I do agree with the size that you want to see the building where it's facing the loft structure and the found, that is preserved. That which is I don't see much of, because it's preserved. This one is like on the traffic vehicles area, and also I have noticed in the past a lot of homeless going down there, even seeing the act. Like, I'm glad to see something being done, and also use it for a good purpose.
Yeah,
which is
I mean,
storage.
I agree, there needs to be something to prevent people and sort of trash and whatever from going underneath. The question I have is, you know, infilling it with a solid panel, is that the best way of doing it? The example that you show in the package, it looks like there's some transparency. There's some pinholes in the panel, which is a little bit different than what's there now, under the stair. That panel under the stair is it's a solid panel, and there's no transparency. So I guess the question is, can you clad the sides of the ramp with a little more transparent material? Maybe it allows some light or some view to penetrate. Maybe that would be more effective.
I think we're even in discussion right now as to whether the perforation is going to make sense from one. I think it's more expensive. We're finding out that it might be like multipliers more expensive than the solid paneling, but also, again, because we are going to be using this space for some purpose, I think I would prefer to keep it as clean inside that area as possible to prevent, oh, yeah, and what we do see at times, people storing stuff or trying to, cram stuff through a hole or store cardboard, and also just prevent dirt and debris from getting into that space, as well as water. Um, I think we'd want water to be able to like drain out, but not really to get in. So again, while I understand the desire to keep the integrity of the teal tile visible, which it still will be from kind of an eye level portion. If you're walking, like, you'll be able to see often like through the ramp uh, stairway, the ramp footing. I think that I don't think that that part of the teal is artistically or design wise attractive to the passersby, um, in terms of needing it to be uh, preserved in that integrity. But I do understand it. I just think it's not the ramp was kind of, to me, what eliminated 95% of that kind of view.
Okay, I understand, and I agree with you on that point. I'm no longer questioning if the ramp is, if the
Right.
panels are necessary. My only question now is, should it be a solid panel like we're looking at in this photograph, or can it be a little bit more transparent? And if you go back to the elevations, now what you're showing there, it looks like a panel that has some perforation. There's some pinholes that I would imagine allows light and view, minimal, through the panels. It's not a completely solid panel. It actually looks different than the panels, the existing panels that are at the stairs. So if that's what you intend, then I think that that's a better solution.
Troy, but just don't mind me, if it's gonna be used for storage when it's thunderstorm, I mean, big storm, those waters flows all over, and if they store like boxes, the water will penetrate to this and the mist, and I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just.
it's an exterior space, right? I mean, it's not going to be enclosed. That's what I'm.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just for a storage for the people that are gonna be using the this
Yeah,
smell.
yeah, I mean, I would say too that even if we go with the perforated, the pinholes are not giving you any kind of view to the teal tiling that is desirable on the building because they're just going to be like small pinhole sizes. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure why they landed on the perforated because what we were trying to go for was a paneling that matched as closely as possible the existing paneling on the side of that main stairwell so as to not draw any extra attention or anything to the space. And again, I would say one, that the pinholes would not be large enough of any size, even if they were quarter sized, for you to actually see the shaded tiling beneath. But also, again, if this will be used for storage, I don't think the public would want to see, or we would want the public to see into the space necessarily for any kind of aesthetic or safety reasons.
So Andrew, the one on the stairs, the one that you're showing,
Yes.
paneling, is that you're gonna get, is what you're presenting is gonna be something similar that will match that? Is that right?
Yeah, and one of the subsequent photos, there's the gray paneling. I
Yes.
think the gray solid is what we're now considering, knowing that the price may be much better for us. If there's a desire for the perforation, I think we could stay with that. But I would say if the only desire for the perforation is for the views through that, I don't believe there would be any view through that perforation.
Yeah, understood. But it's a better looking panel than the solid.
That one, yeah, and that's what I thought. That's my, yeah, that's what it's, so Andrew, I do really like that panel that's on the stairs. I mean, and if we can match that, it will look, the static will be much nicer. I don't know. Is that,
So you're saying you like
I like
that
that
panel
one.
better than
Oh, then
this
that
panel?
one is, I don't know. I like that one better, but that's up to you guys.
No, I don't know if we're deciding on that completely right now. It's just, one is looks like it needs painting and a different kind of upkeep, and the metal would be the same shape and width maybe, replicating the paneling, but it would be wouldn't be easier to upkeep.
Yeah, they would both be made of the same material, I believe. It's a metal. It would be like a solid, that gunmetal colored metal.
They look concrete.
So they would be the same color.
Yes. Again, the goal is to get that precise, as close to that kind of paneling, and our folk contractors have said that they can do that, is to get that exact color, that kind of paneling matching on the facade there.
All right.
Will you need any lighting?
Can I? Oh,
I'm sorry?
Will you have any lighting required, like if you're walking in underneath there?
I don't know. We've discussed that internally, but I don't think there would be any electrical run in there. There might be something that we kind of just put in there ourselves, but I don't think there'd be any like wired in electricity for the space.
Pepon?
hi. Isn't this a historic place in Philadelphia?
Yes, it just received historic designation, I believe, last year.
Right. So all that has been taken in consideration for this new design of the ramp, right?
Yes, we're working with the historical commission as well.
Right. I'm just struggling with the idea that the original design seems to be somehow struggling with this with the stairs, but that's just me. I don't know if anyone else. I'm thinking of the vertical lines in relationship to the vertical lines of the saucer, all that, and they don't seem to complement, but rather disrupt each other, and that's what I was thinking about historical site or place. But anyway, that's just something to also consider. The aesthetics and the visual presentation of the new designs on the ramp.
I'm just looking at one of the building elevation view where there are two views. I notice that the kind of the That one, the panels, I mean, I think it's pretty simpatico. It looks like the panels under the stairs were kind of related to the panels of the glass. And so it's actually, to me, the bottom view is looking better than the one on the top on this with the stilts. It kind of feels to me like we're really braiding, really marrying the ramp now into the building with kind of covering that, but that's my view.
I think that view is deceiving, because if you were to add shade and shadow, you would see that there is much more three-dimensionality to the top view that sort of isolates the form of the building than the bottom view.
Yeah, I agree with that also. I think that from your original point as well, the ramp kind of takes that, makes the issue to begin with. But I do notice that from the aerial view, 3/4 of the building, you will preserve the view that you're referencing, which is important to see the whole column from ground, going up.
Carmen, you were gonna mention something? I guess not.
No, I mean, are we, the panel is presented is going to be, solid? Are we going to suggest that that we're going to prefer the perforated version? And then, I think we should move on. We've,
I know.
went back and forth, and I'm not sure that we're, moving in any direction here.
Gotcha. Yeah, any public comments? No?
No, we
Okay.
have no raised hands.
To approve what the proposed.
So I'll come back with the materials.
Oh, no, this is administrative. This is administrative. This is not for conceptual approval. So this is, so we need a motion to approve the administrative of this item.
Motion.
1 second.
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Yes. No. All right. Next item.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Okay, we have one remaining administrative item today. Okay. We have another submission of Indigo Ike Smart City kiosks. Okay. And bicycle transit systems contracted by the City of Philadelphia's Office of Transportation and Infrastructure Systems is seeking administrative approval for 10 new kiosk locations. The Art Commission provided final approval for the deployment of the kiosks on Indigo bike share stations with the understanding that the locations be reviewed administratively. So for this submission, there are 10 total proposed kiosks. 2 of the locations are existing Indigo stations, and 8 of the proposed kiosks are for proposed new stations. And I believe we have folks here to speak to any questions that you may have about the individual locations.
It looked like one came back, the fourth and Christian. Oh, no, it wasn't one in Christian, no. So my concern is on number 067, Catherine and Poplar. Why is it close to? Can we put it on the other side instead? I don't know. I'm afraid that will damage the wall. I don't know. That one right there. That's a beautiful park. I don't want the wall to start getting damaged and they'll have to do the repair. Troy, what do you think? You're an architect here.
I mean, it is curious why some are closer to the curb while others are pushed back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning. I'm Nate Bowman Johnson. I'm General Manager for Indigo Bike Share. So this, your question about Corinthian and Poplar, that's an existing, there's an existing Indigo station there. So the concept is that we would simply be adding the kiosk onto the end of the station. Now, if there is interference with the wall, we will shift the station out from the wall to make sure there's enough space and we're not disrupting the wall, because that is the wall that I think that's Girard College there.
So what you're looking at is a Photoshop
Yes.
rendering that's probably a little bit too close to the wall.
Oh,
It looks like it's buried in the wall.
it's like so close. Wow.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with that one. Thank you. Any question, commissioners? Public comments? Can we have a motion?
Motion.
Second? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? No? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So our first item for final review is the John F. Byrne Clubhouse expansion. Yeah, right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having us. My name is Joe Horan. I'm with Kimmel Architects. I'm joined by Bill Heineman here, who's the CEO of First Tee. Appreciate your time to review this final application. Following our concept meeting we had last month, we got some great feedback from the commissioners regarding really several items, looking for some information on exterior materials, some landscaping, as well as discussing some of the outreach that First Tee does in some of the schools that they work at. So to refresh what we're doing here, I'll just, we're taking what is the existing clubhouse and expanding it to meet the growing needs of First Tee. And I'll let Bill Hyman speak here a little bit about the First Tee outreach that they're doing at John Byrne.
Yes, so we have extensive programs that go on at John F. Byrne Golf Club, and this is just for John Byrne. First Tee has 26 locations. We also have similar programs at Walnut Lane Golf Club, which is a similar facility owned by the city of Philadelphia. But we have, you can see all those schools that we impact. Some of those are recreation centers. There's Police Athletic League. So we have 591 students that participate at John Byrne. We also have weekly classes that go on. So that is 690 students. Everything that we offer is free for our students. We work really hard to fundraise. And, if you're not familiar with First Tee, we teach kids life skills, and we use golf as the vehicle to teach life skills, interpersonal skills, goal setting, how to manage their emotions. And, this is the second golf course that we took over. It's been a real success story. We took it over in 2019. We did the first renovation, and this is like our second phase. It's going to impact, we're going to be able to add to 500 additional students, like new students to the 1,281. So we're really excited. The community is really excited for this project.
Thank you, Bill. All right, to walk everyone through the project, we've some existing photos. One of the questions that came up at the last meeting was that blue spruce tree that is in the upper right-hand corner of that left photo, as well as the landscaping. So we have met with the city arborist It is not a heritage tree. We are going, as part of the removal, we're going to replace that tree with 3 additional trees on the golf course, as well as dress up the landscaping, which was a request. I'll kind of skip to that. We're going to just restore the lawn, plant some native grasses, just kind of, keep it simple to maintain, but just give it a little bit more aesthetic and, just freshen it, but be able to be maintained by, the nonprofit. All right. What you see here is the existing plan of the clubhouse. The gray is existing and the yellow is what is being added. So we're adding a new accessible entrance down at the street level that would have an elevator that would bring you up to that first floor. The right-hand side is all wide open space, teaching, simulator, flex space for the first tee. And we're doing some additional, just minor renovations inside the clubhouse and extending the deck out on the golf course. On the second floor, again, just additional flexible fitness conference spaces. And then the existing second floor that's above the clubhouse that's in the mansard roof, we'll be renovating that for the administrative support spaces for first tee. Proposed elevations, and I'll just kind of skip through these. If there's any questions, please feel free. I'll jump to the exterior 3D renderings. This is the existing, and then this is the proposed. Again, on the right-hand side there, you see the new entry space coming into the vestibule. We're kind of wrapping that whole front facade there and along the side. So this is the entrance coming down Leon Street. And then this is the backside that faces the golf course. In terms of materiality, we actually brought samples here per the request last week. I have them on the table. Bill, could you kind of hold them? I don't know if you want us to pass them around or. Yeah. So this is the proposed brick that we have shown on the base. It's a modeled tan brick from Harris Craft. And then this is the proposed metal panel and fiber cement that we're using on the project. And I want to kind of skip to this last image. So this is the project that we completed with First Tee that opened a little over a year ago. This was the existing Walnut Lane golf course, which was.
So make sure you look at this.
So this is a very bunker-like building that had like 0 windows that faced the golf course, and we had expanded it and renovated it in conjunction with Bill and his team to make it a great, really community center space. And, we're using and proposing the same materials that we did here at Walnut Lane, with the exception the brick is new here. We welcome any questions that the commissioners would have.
Thank you for the high school. Wow, that's a high number. That's good. Thank you. Commissioners?
I wasn't here last week, so I'm not sure what you solved for or what changed, but it looks terrific.
Yes.
Troy?
Thank you for making the revisions that we requested the last time you were here. I think the project reads much more effectively. I understand exactly what's existing and what's new. And it all makes sense as shown in the drawings. I think the materials, color palette, the design, all of that is great. The landscaping, you added that in the site plans. So I think it's a great project. And I have, no criticism. You guys did a great job, and thank you for the excellent presentation. The only question I do have is on the rear elevation. And one of the drawing elevations that you show in your presentation, I don't know if it's where it is. It's the back elevation. Yeah, that one. So are you like changing the material on the existing building to match the new, or am I looking at the existing material to the left? What's happening there?
Yeah, the existing material that where you see the two square windows above the garage bays, the garage doors, that material would stay the same. It's really where we're noting the 1 and 2, that material is really new from that point and wraps around the front facade of the building.
So if you go back, that way I can show 'em. Go back, right there. No, sorry, that right there.
Okay,
Thank you.
great, thank you.
Pepon, Carmen, any questions?
No,
I think it's a great project.
Thank you. Any public comments?
We have no raised hands.
So can we give him final approval? Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All right. Roll call.
Okay, we have a motion for final approval of the John F. Byrne Clubhouse expansion. Commissioner Troy, you seconded the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner James had to depart the meeting. Commissioner Pepon,
approve.
Commissioner Rebecca,
Approved.
Commissioner Carmen,
Approve.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Happily approve.
Okay, unanimous approval.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, our next item for final review is the Philadelphia Stars Negro League Memorial Park mural. I believe that the presenters for this item are joining us remotely. Kate, you should be able to speak to this item and
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. I think I just got the invite. Is it showing that Dave McShane is in here as well?
yes, he
Okay,
is
perfect.
unmuted as well.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Thanks to everyone for fitting us in today. And so I just wanted to give quick little context to our site here. This is over at Parkside in Belmont. The site is the location currently of the Negro League Baseball Memorial Park. And across from it was the former mural that we had probably for close to maybe 15, 20 years. And it recently, just a few months ago, was demolished for future development. We knew about this future development for probably like 7, 8 years. We knew there was like a talks of it. It finally came down. And so this intersection is also a key intersection, not just for the site specificity of it, but it also splits 2 different neighborhood groups and 2 different city council districts. And so there has been interest for years to kind of get a mural over in the park itself. Currently, there is no actual wall yet that will be built in this coming month or so. That did get approved, and it got recently the permit. The developer who owns the lot and now the building that the former mural was on is also supporting the new wall to be built. And so there's a little bit of a connection there. The West Parkside Business Association and the Park Group is really our core connectors for this Memorial Park site. And so currently there is a wooden fence that runs along the back section of the site. A school is behind that, and then the park improvements are going to be some future improvements with benches and lighting, some other sculptures that has gone before the commission several times in the past couple years. So our part is really our mural here. And so it was really important to us from Mural Arts' end to kind of keep some kind of artwork at this intersection because that was the site of where the baseball field was. And so even though it went from a different kind of sized mural to this more elongated style, it allowed us to kind of reimagine this mural in a way with the content and expand it, whereas we were limited before. So, there's a little silver lining here. It was really sad to lose the original mural. It was, upsetting to the community and to us. It is gone now completely. And so this was the original across the street. But the upside is that we, get to kind of retell this story, expand it, and really connect in with the community and young people. And we will eventually have some community paint days, which is our traditional methodology of doing the projects. And so if you can go to the next slide. It will kind of show. So this was when there was about a few years ago, the owner had to make really significant repairs to the wall. There was foundation issues, roof issues, water was getting in, a whole half of the section was missing. And so that kind of sat like that for a couple years. A few years back, the building owner sadly passed away. And then it kind of was just held up in between sort of family dynamics of trying to sell the property. The developer who owned the lot in front purchased this building, and that is what it came down a couple months ago. So the next slide kind of shows the site completely gone now. And then the next one kind of starts to show the mock-up. These are just some site context photos. You can kind of see in the background this wooden fence. It's nothing very sturdy, so we certainly could not put a mural on anything like that. Through some work that the West Parkside Group did with the developer, they have kind of raised money and have sponsorships for a new wall, like a freestanding stucco wall to be built there. And so their permit was issued a few weeks back. They are working on some final survey components, and then this wall will be built. And then eventually our mural will go up here. And our timeline is really production over the next couple months, making sure that the wall has proper cure time. We will probably overlap in some capacity with mid-July when the All-Star Week is happening here. So the Phillies will kind of be involved in a little bit of perhaps the paint day. We'll have some paint days with the community. And then we'll eventually install this probably later in summer and aim for maybe like an early fall dedication at the park. And that will kind of be done in tandem with some of the park improvements that the West Parkside Group is doing. And so Dave, if you are on here, if you want to kind of share a little bit about the expanded content and who else is included in this mural, that would be great.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So essentially I wanted to, we were looking at the old mural and realized that the wall was, because of its sort of more rectangular shape, and I wanted the figures to be large, it didn't give us quite the opportunity to have like this sort of longer extended thing that allows for more figures to be added. So we get to add more key figures that played for the Philadelphia Stars, which is exciting, and we get to honor a lot more players this way. We also are acknowledging all the various sites they played at. So they played at originally the very first year or two at Passon Field, which was at 48th and Walnut, and then they played the bulk of their career at 44th and Parkside, which was the ballpark for the railroad, which is the location where the Wallway is right now, where this park is. And then at the very end, they played at Connie Mack Stadium, also known as Shibe Park. And so there's those mentions. There's the owner at the far right. He was both an entrepreneurial guy that founded the team and owned it through its whole existence. So it's good to acknowledge him. And then on the left side, we're acknowledging two things. One is there was a Negro National League and a Negro American League, and we put pennants featuring the various teams that the Philadelphia Stars would have played against. And then there's also, there you go. And then there's also a big Stars pennant above that is it says African-American baseball in Philadelphia. There were actually other all-black teams that preceded the Philadelphia Stars. And so there's a mention to that history there, and there's a logo for each of those teams and the dates. So it's kind of a little more complete history about what happened before baseball was integrated, when in 1947, when Jackie Robinson, was the first Black player to play for the major leagues. And so this is kind of like a history of all the Black baseball before that. And I think we all, the West Parkside Association, and particularly Miller Parker, who the new park is going to be named after, he was really the spearhead, and he was very passionate about this subject and really felt that this story should be told. Sadly, he passed away in 2023, but I think it's particularly great that we're going to get to finish, do a new version of this with this more complete history on the 250th anniversary, when there's lots of stories about the history of our nation being told, and this is an important story that the folks in this neighborhood, particularly in the West Parkside area, really wanted to embrace and hold on to as part of their legacy.
Right. I do have a question regarding.
Sure.
Okay, a few months ago, they came to present some structure for is it because the wall is a large size wall? And Margaret, I don't know if you were present. So that section is supposed to be a large wall. So this is going to be in the middle. What happened with the other project that they presented with this structure? They still, oh, you were
The cutouts,
yeah,
it had,
yeah.
it was metal
It was
cutouts.
last month? Oh,
Yep, that's a separate section with a different artist. So you're talking about, this stretch of wall is a concrete section that would be poured concrete with a stucco surface. And if you go to the next slide, you can see it kind of extends behind where the statue is. But there is another at least 100 or more feet to the right, where you can see now in this picture is represented by a wooden fence. That's where they're talking about doing a metal fence with some cutouts. That's actually a different project with a different artist. And that's that's not covered in this scope. Because I'm not even sure that, I'm pretty sure that's not even going through mural arts.
Yeah, I
So-
just want to clarify, that is not mural arts related. That is the Parkside group, West Parkside, working with Digsall Architects. And so they have other funding and fundraising that, excuse me, they were doing to kind of bring in some other art components. Our part is strictly just this mural and this wall that is depicted here on a to-be-built wall, specifically for the mural.
thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. We were just wondering how that related.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
All right, commissioners, any questions?
Hi, thank you. I have two questions. This is Commissioner Pepon, and they're both related to history. Will there be any didactic material, kind of like an exterior label that would somehow tell the story, not only of the site, but also of the mural?
To the very far right, you see a green box next to where the owner is, the very far right of the mural design. That's going to be where the credits and information about, so that's where the didactic stuff would be. We could also theoretically have like a QR code or something like that that could take people to a place where they could get more information as well. But there's also the cement, there's a granite walls. If you see the picture, there's these little stone, besides the pedestal, there's two stone walls flanking the pedestal. They're actually, they look like they're right up against the wall in this shot, but they're actually a good like 15 feet away from the wall. But they also have a ton of information about the players and things that's already carved into those stone panels. And those were there from when the park was dedicated back in 2005.
Thank you.
So
And then
there
the other question, oh, sorry, go ahead.
In the credit information box that we on our mural, we will certainly have a lot of information that I was talking about. And all the names of the players are right on the mural itself. All the names and dates are right on the mural below the picture or attached to the image.
Thank you. And out of curiosity, was the old mural professionally documented and sent to an archives near a preservation or a city agency? Because I think that the old mural and the intention behind it, it's what led to this renovation, and I think it's just equally important.
Yeah, I can speak to that. And thank you for asking about that. That's a really important component and something that we, this was a sad loss, but again, it provided an opportunity to kind of reimagine some stuff. And so we thankfully have been aware of this for many years, and we did document it at several different intervals, even before some of the wall repairs covered up half of it. And so we have had, longstanding documented photos. It has gone into our archives with Temple. A lot of our stuff
Okay.
goes to Temple archives. And so one of our staff members kind of is our key liaison for archiving our old files, our old murals that we have lost to either demolition, development, or just, we had to, they, went to what Jane calls mural heaven because they, had their shelf life. So this one was one that we still remain kind of using this image of the original mural just because it was still important to document because there was something special about how it was kind of, on this wall, you could see it very clearly from the intersection. It kind of was like this beautiful visual historical marker. And so while it is physically gone, I think it had a moment to be out there, and we still will keep that. And I think in the information box that Dave mentioned, and maybe we'll put one on the other side, on the left side, if we can squeeze that in so it's anchoring both walls or both ends of the wall. I think we do see some interpretive signage as well that kind of has a little bit of the history of like this mural was a reimagined mural and reference like even a little photo of the original mural that was across the street, and perhaps some kind of legend of a diagrammatical legend that would include here's more information. We have talked about getting like an all-weather box to put out, sort of printed pieces there so people could like take one. I think we're using this as an opportunity to kind of expand the narrative, but also kind of honor what was there first for several decades. So yeah, it's important that we kind of, include that in some capacity, but it has been archived and I think will be expanded when we get this mural eventually up so it can kind of be like a two-part story.
And is this at the Blackstone Collection?
I don't know. I can look into that. That's a good
Okay,
question.
at Temple. I think it's important to, my recommendation also on the side, it's that it is important that it's sent to the Blackstone Collection, which is the largest collection of African American history in the United States.
Yeah.
Thank you for finding that. Yeah, I'll inquire about that.
Sure.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just want to encourage and make sure that the QR code, if that is being planned, that it contains the ability to have other languages for the interpretation.
Thank you. That's a great suggestion. We'll make sure to include that way.
Okay, Troy.
Just a quick comment. I'm going to miss that original mural because it had such a presence on Belmont, just driving by in Parkside. But it's good that it's being replaced in another incarnation. Landscaping, am I looking at sort of an improvement to the existing landscaping, or is it just a?
There will be, yeah, that is not also our scope, but yes, the goal is that the enhancements to the park also include better landscaping, better maintenance and ongoing improvements, and kind of a more well thought out way to kind of engage people and sort of have it kind of feel more park-like. Currently is these two walls with engraved names, and is the Jackie Robinson statue and some lighting. And I think we're really excited to have this mural there to kind of help be a beautiful backdrop to this and kind of amplify the whole experience of that park. So I do know that their goals were, I think, a two-phase approach to the landscaping, but I can't speak to the specifics. That is not part of our scope, but that is the mock-up here was pulled from, it was provided by Jigsaw.
Just to clarify, we're reviewing just the mural today. The Plaza project received concept approval from Art Commission, but will return at a future date for final approval.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Public comments?
I have another question, sorry.
Sure.
Has there been any consideration of lighting at night to the mural?
It's come up to me a couple times. I think our first goal, since this has been a long journey to get the mural here, is to get the mural up, and then kind of we have a lighting designer on one of our advisory boards, and so they have already expressed interest in waiting till the mural is done to kind of assess what the lighting needs would be. And we do think that we would in the future, in maybe a year, from now, but we do would like to think about lighting here in tandem with the other additional lighting that may be at the park. I think we want to be able to see it on the wall first, get a feel for sort of what the needs are, but it would be nice to have something there that is specifically uplighting or some downlighting for the mural itself. Thank you for your question.
Okay, so this is supposed to be a final review, is that right? Okay.
Correct, yes, final review.
Okay, so can I have a motion for approval? Or
Motion.
someone second it?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All right, roll call.
Okay, we have a motion for final approval for the Philadelphia Stars Negro League Memorial Park mural. Commissioner Choi,
Approve.
Commissioner Pepan,
Approve.
Commissioner Rebecca,
Approved.
Commissioner Carmen,
Approve.
okay, and Commissioner Rayed.
Approved.
Okay, unanimous support for approval. Okay, so we have one, and thank you all. And we now have one item for concept review.
Beautiful.
Morning again, commissioners. My name is Marguerite Anglin. I'm with Creative Philadelphia, the Public Art Director, and I'm pleased to present this proposal for Percent for Art at the Francis J. Myers Rec Center in collaboration with our partners at Capital Program Office and Rebuild, as well as the artist, Reginald Adams, who is joining us remotely and who I'll be handing it over to in a moment to present. So this Percent for Art opportunity is part of a rebuild construction project that includes a new addition to the Recreation Center building, along with significant interior and exterior upgrades, and it's located in the Kingsessing neighborhood at 5801 Kingsessing Ave. This Percent for Art project will feature 2 permanent site-specific mosaic artworks. First will be a prominent piece installed on the exterior wall of the rec center, and then a smaller indoor piece located inside the building's entry lobby. Creative Philadelphia conducted an open call for artists with 41 total applicants, and the FJ Myers Percent for Art Committee, comprised of community residents, local artists, and representatives of the design team, Rebuild, Parks and Recreation, and City Council District 2 office, selected 4 finalist artists who submitted design proposals. The Kingsessing community was engaged and provided input on the designs through virtual and in-person community meetings and an online survey. And so all of this was to ensure that the final artworks would be reflective of the community and their voices. And so the artist, Reginald Adams, was selected by the committee as the winning artist, and his design features 2 complementary mosaic artworks that celebrate the neighborhood's heritage, natural surroundings, and vibrant community spirit. And I will hand it over to Reginald Adams now to present his design.
Thank you, Marguerite. And can everyone hear me, the commissioners?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to share my vision for the FJ Meyer Recreation Center and 2 mosaic murals. My name is Reginald Adams. I'm a public artist with over 3 decades of experience creating large-scale community-driven works across the United States. My practice centers on working directly with communities to translate their stories, their history, and their collective vision to permanent works that live in the public realm. The title of this series of murals is We Are Stronger Together. This concept is a visual declaration of unity, resilience, and shared humanity designed to transform the FJ Myers Recreation Center into a space where the community can see itself reflected both outside and within. If we can go to the next slide, please. The design began with a listening session, as Marguerite referenced in her comments. In the fall of 2025, we gathered with community members, youth, and elders to hear what mattered most. What emerged were themes of family, cultural pride, growth, and intergenerational connection. Those voices directly shape the mural that you see here today. The exterior composition unfolds through a series of vertical panels that rise like stained glass windows. Each panel tells a story. You can go to the next slide, please. Gardens represent nourishment and possibility, is what you see to the far left. Portraits reflecting the dignity and the diversity of the community in the center panels. And together they create a visual narrative rooted in connection where generations speak to one another and individuals recognize they're part of something much larger. Go to the next slide. Actually, the next two slides, because what you see is what I just read. Inside that building, the story continues through a second, more intimate mosaic centered on the tree of life. This interior piece serves as a symbolic anchor representing growth, transformation, and the interconnectedness of all people who pass through this space. The materials really matter to me. Glass and porcelain tile capture and reflect light throughout the day, reminding us that even broken pieces, when brought together with intention, can create something whole and powerful. Next slide, please. Next slide. The mural, as mentioned, is located at the F.J. Myers Recreation Center, located at 5801 King Sessing Street in Philadelphia, in the heart of South Philly. And currently, the space is undergoing major renovation, soon to be completed to set the stage for the installation, the co-creation and the installation of this mosaic. In total, we're looking at approximately 1,000 square feet of glass and porcelain tile, which will span approximately 30 feet in height and 50 feet in width of the exterior wall. As we move to the interior location, we're looking at a mosaic mural that's approximately 15 feet in height and 9 feet in width, totaling 135 square feet of mosaic artwork. Next slide, please. This slide depicts the exterior mosaic placement on the side of the building. I'm sorry, and I'm not as familiar with these streets as I should be, but I know the mural overlooks the area that would serve where the swimming pool is. As we visited, that was one of the features that really stood out. So as kids and families are entering and exiting the pool area, yes, where the cursor is hovering above that orange line, that is the proposed location for the exterior mural. Next slide, please. And where the cursor is hovering around the colored feature, this is the interior mosaic mural placement. So essentially, once you enter into the building, it will be one of the first elements that you see. You'll be captured, your attention will be captured by this intricately, brightly colored glass and porcelain tile mosaic, and re-emphasizing that this work will be very much a part of the community, as they'll have an opportunity to help us create portions of this work. Next slide, please. Community engagement is a really integral part of my creative process. I believe in putting the public in public art. And over the last 30 years, working literally across the United States, I've had an opportunity to not only listen, but engage well over 50,000 youth and adults in the co-creation of these various public art projects. And what we're proposing for the F.J. Meyer Recreation Center is to host a series of hands-on community workshops where community members, be it youth, adults, elders, will work alongside myself and my team in creating portions of these murals so that when the work is done, they can take co-ownership and stewardship in the final work. Next slide, please. My creative process is really about translating these community stories into powerful visual narratives. I'd like to consider creating visual love letters from us to the communities that these works serve. The installation process will be facilitated by my team, who are seasoned and professional artisans that have installed mosaic murals in very dynamic environments like airports, major thoroughfares, public parks, etc. Next slide, please. As we elaborate on the materials and supplies, I love working with low maintenance, high durability materials like glass and porcelain tile. These materials offer exceptional durability and resistance to the elements, ensuring that the artwork integrity is preserved for generations. We primarily use glass and porcelain tile chosen for the vibrant color, longevity, and superior weather resistance. And each mosaic mural is assembled using fiberglass mesh backing, an industry standard for transport and installation, which offers both flexibility and structural support. And this technique enables us to pre-assemble the mural in a controlled setting, some of that work here in Houston, some of that work there in the F.J. Myers Recreation Center, ensuring precise craftsmanship and seamless on-site installation. Next slide, please. In regards to the installation, I will be overseeing the installation along with my team of experienced artisans who carry a strong track record of public installations. In the image that you see to the immediate right of the slide, we're installing a series of mosaic murals in Intercontinental Airport, a very dynamic space where there's lots of travelers, lots of hands, lots of visibility, lots of activity. And we provide installation that pays very close attention to the environment and the locations in which these works will serve. Once in place, the mural will be expertly grouted, sealed, and inspected to ensure structural integrity, aesthetic quality, and full compliance with city codes and public art guidelines. Notably, the glass tile mosaics are renowned for their low maintenance, high durability, and exceptional resistance to graffiti, making them an ideal medium for long-lasting public artworks. And we provide a comprehensive material list and manufacturing specifications to provide for review and approval. Next slide, please. In regards to maintenance, to preserve the beauty and longevity of our glass and porcelain tile murals, we recommend cleaning the surface annually, using preferred techniques in power washing and cleaning to avoid harsh chemicals, abrasive scrubbers. We would provide guidance to the materials and to the substances that would be needed if there is cleaning needed for the work. And after an annual maintenance routine, we conduct thorough inspections to check for cracks or missing tiles, grout erosion, or signs of water intrusion. We recommend sealing the grout at installation and reapply penetrating grout sealer every few years to just preserve the longevity of the work. Next slide, please. This is a really brief timeline, starting with the meeting today, April 8th, Art Commission review, with hopes and anticipation to seek your approval. We're anticipating contract finalization towards the fall of 2026. That then triggers additional community engagement along with the fabrication of the mural itself. Anticipating at least 4 to 5 months for the production of the mural, which brings us into the spring of 2027. That concludes installation late spring, early summer, with a proposed dedication around June of 2027. Next slide, please. The budget allocation for this project was $160,000. What you see is a line item allocation of how those funds would be broken down and allocated for the feasibility and the construction, installation, essentially turnkey operation of the proposed murals. Next slide, please. And as I mentioned earlier, I've essentially spent my entire lifetime preparing for this project. I'd like to say I'm the little boy who loved to draw, who never grew up. I've been very fortunate to have been surrounded my entire life with people who believed in my creativity, essentially providing me opportunities to live out my dreams. And I'm grateful to present this project for the F.J. Myers Recreation Center to you all, as this would be another dream come true. Next slide, please. I thank you for your attention, for your leadership in supporting public art in Philadelphia. And I look forward to bringing this project to life with the residents of King Sessing and all those who play a part in helping beautify the city of Philadelphia. Thank you very much, and that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions, which regard to visibility and lighting for the project. It's a beautiful project. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Both murals are just lovely and beautiful. So special considerations to lighting. So for best visibility in the dark hours of the day and inside the building as well, maybe a spotlight or something.
I believe the interior mural, and first of all, thank you for your question, Carmen. The interior mural will obviously receive the best lighting. I'm not for certain at this moment if there has been spotlights that will provide featured lighting on that interior mural. But because the mural faces the main entryway, which is glass-cladded dooring, I'm confident that there will be ample lighting to make sure that the mosaic is well viewed, day or night. In terms of the exterior mural, there are 2 lights that will be on the building itself. In fact, there are 2 small anchor points that are along that orange line that constitute where lights have been pre-selected and mounted. But from my understanding, there will not be directional lighting pointing directly to the mural, but there will be street lamps or lamps within the surrounding grounds that will provide lighting to the mural. One of the benefits of glass and porcelain tile is it is highly reflective. So it doesn't require a tremendous amount of light for the mural to be seen day or night. And if Marguerite or others that are associated with the site want to expound on that, I would defer that comment to them.
Sure, thank you, Reginald. Yeah, and as Reginald mentioned, as we can see from the site lighting here, there are 2. This is all the rebuild site development lighting that's been approved as part of this project through the Art Commission already. And this project is in construction now, nearing construction, end of construction now. And so there is, as this shows, there is a lamp post that's directly across from the mosaic. There are 2 building mounted lights that are on either side of the mosaic as well. And so we, in working with Rebuild and working with their team, believe there is ample lighting for the mosaic.
Thank you.
And another question would be about informing, about the mural and its meaning and so on and so forth. Is there going to be some plaque and also a QR informational code, etc., for information?
Yes, we will, as with all of our projects, we love to have that opportunity to let people know about the project, and Reginald will provide text, language that's describing the inspiration for the design, and we will have that on one of our typical standard plaques with information about how people can get more information about the project.
Troy?
Use of more languages as well?
Yes, we will, we've started to institute a QR code that allows people to go back to a web page about the project, and from there they can, that can provide translation opportunities.
Thank you.
Hi, Reginald. This is Troy.
Thank you.
Firstly, I think this is a fantastic project. I really like the concept, and I think it will make a great addition to this building. But I have two quick questions. How do you physically construct those mosaics that large? I mean, how would that work? Would they be built in sections and then applied, or in as one panel? I'm just curious.
Yes, great question, Troy. Thank you for that. The murals are produced on sheets of fiberglass mesh, and I can acquire this mesh pretty much at any width, say up to 10 feet wide, by as long as 150 feet. And then I can cut that mesh down into any dimension or proportion that's needed. The panels, as are proposed, are just over 4 feet wide, and they vary in length based on the rise of the building. So the center pattern would be up to 32 feet, and they gradually get shorter as they go to the left and right, if that makes sense. Each panel being approximately 4 feet in width. And so we cut the mesh to say 4 feet wide, as long as it needs to be in length. And then I have printed the imagery on vinyl banner material in full color, full size. That ends up being essentially the underlayment for the mesh. So I can see the mural in full color, full resolution, full proportion. And as we apply the tile, adhere them to the mesh, we're essentially creating the artwork just as it's rendered in the banner, that I can see through the mesh. And then based on where the cuts need to occur to make the mesh panels completed with tile movable and more easily to be handled, we'll cut those sections into 3 to 4 foot wide sections, so it's easier for my team to handle it once we get on site. So using the design to the far left, the floral pattern, let's say that's 21 feet in length, 4 feet in width. That section may actually be broken up into 5 pieces that are of approximately 4 by 4 feet each. So that when we bring that work to Philadelphia for installation, we're essentially installing these 4 by 4 sections, one at a time, stacked upon each other. We infill the seams once the whole section is up, so that you can't see where those seams were cut. And then once all of the artwork is mounted onto the wall using thin set mortar, we then grout it, and it will create a seamless, cohesive installation that to the unknowing eye, it may look as if the piece was installed as one 4 foot by 20 foot section, but in actuality, it's a giant jigsaw puzzle. I'm trying to describe it in a way that kind of makes sense, but I'm, of course, simplifying some of the more technical aspects. But I'd be happy to elaborate if you have any additional questions on what I just described.
No, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for the detail.
Thank you for the question.
My only other question, I guess this is more about sort of logistics and maintenance at the center. Is there a concern that the panels are so close to the ground, with people being able to access them, touch them, or the fact that a person can walk right up to the building and have direct access to the panels? Was that ever discussed, and is that a potential issue?
Excellent question, Troy. It was discussed, And what we did in consideration of the conversation that we had around where the mural begins and where it starts, we brought the mural panel up to the line of sight of the window, and that framing where you will see with the cursor kind of panning across, we're approximately 4 feet above grade. And that was largely so that we wouldn't bring the mural in contact with any landscaping equipment, with just the natural debris that gets kicked up when rain happens and water splashes off the ground. At the lower portions of any building, you will see just a different level of debris and dirt. And so by raising the mural up approximately 4 feet, we're seeking to mitigate that issue. Mosaics are highly durable, and how we will mount this using just industry standards and materials in terms of the thin set mortar and the grout. We're talking about glass and porcelain, which is highly durable, very resilient to touch. I don't foresee any issues with someone being able to touch the mural. In fact, I can appreciate someone being able to touch the mural and still not cause any harm through the oils that may come off of someone's fingers or hands. But in terms of vandalism, we will seal the mural, and there will be a graffiti sealant that's applied onto the mural itself to mitigate any future graffiti vandalism. But there was consideration, absolutely, that the mural could be touched, but also would be protected in a way where any vandalism could be removed if it happens down the road. I hope that addressed your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy.
Anyone else?
Oh, I just, excuse me.
I have
Rebecca
a
Siegel,
question.
Oh, you have a question, Papan?
Yeah, Commissioner Rippon, hi.
Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to know if these are the final images or these are conceptual images. What we're seeing, in front.
Yeah, these are conceptual images that will be refined as far as the detailing of, will there be exact faces of individuals from the community? That's been a conversation, but we're presenting the concept of a floral element to tie in nature, faces of children and adults reflecting different generations and cultural references. The center design has a sunburst mandala with some more abstract elements of a crowd of people, really depicting folks coming from all walks of life. There's also this intergenerational acknowledgement of our elders in the panel directly to the right of the center panel. Again, additional faces of multicultural children and adults, and then another floral element. And so I am proposing to maintain the general architecture of these designs, while the actual features and likeness of the individuals could be subject to change or be refined. I'm not sure if that answers or addresses your question.
No. Yeah, absolutely. And it's mostly based on the engagement that you have with people and how that influences the images.
Exclusively. In our visit in, I believe it was November of 2025, we sat and we listened to a lot of feedback that informed my design. And I never go into a community presupposing what I want them to see. I know I'm going to step away and come back to my home and leave work for the local community to have to live with. And so it's critically important for my creative process that the imagery that we portray and we feature in the work is a reflection of the people themselves. And not just looking at someone that may look familiar, but more importantly, Pipon, actually having an opportunity to co-create parts of this mural. Because the big win for me would be to come the day of the dedication, when those kids and their families are present at that unveiling, at that ribbon cutting, and go and run to a section that they know they made. Go run and point out a piece of tile in the Tree of Life mosaic inside that they know that they created, because that will create the ownership and the stewardship of kids who will grow up to become the future art commissioners, because they take pride, they take ownership, and they appreciate the power of public art in their own spaces. And that's essentially how this imagery was formed, was through that listening session in November.
Right.
Thank
I
you, Reginald.
appreciate also the large-scale presence of the body.
Thank you.
Also, what
I considered how this mural will be seen, not only from the street, but from people who are walking right up to it. And if you're thinking about seeing an image from the street, which could be from 50 to 100 feet away, it's important that you're not squinting. So there are some very large imagery of faces. And at the same time, there's some elements that draw you in. And that was very intentional. So I appreciate your acknowledgement of that, Papan.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Reginald, and thank you, Commissioner Papan. This is Marguerite. If I could just add to Papan's first question, from Creative Philadelphia's standpoint and working as we take this forward and working with Reginald, we don't expect for the design, as you know, just kind of building on what Reginald mentioned, we don't expect for the design to largely change. This was, this was the preferred design that was selected by the community. And as well as the committee who had the final vote. And so, other than the refinements that Reginald mentioned, we don't expect for this to change. This is final in terms of what the public can expect.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, hi, Rebecca Siegel. I have a comment, and it's to congratulate you, Reginald, on this beautiful project and also your very excellent presentation. And I really appreciate you're explaining your processes so thoroughly. It's an unbelievably beautiful and uplifting pair of installations here. And we love our murals in Philadelphia, and I would just like to say that
Yes.
it's very nice to see a different material being used. It's just very exciting. It's fun to see a mural and to be we will experience it differently. And this is just a little point of artistry here. When I'm looking at the artist rendering of the Tree of Life inside, I know this is a rendering, but in the top left corner, meaning this is not, I don't know what this will look like, but if the black tiles do have some reflective nature, especially when this is lit up, I imagine if you're walking up to that water fountain in the front, if that is indeed there, that you might even see your reflection in the darker tiles, which maybe you could comment that might be, but it just seems like an added bonus if it turns out that way.
I love that, Rebecca. Thank you for the comment. And we do work with some tile that has that quality. It is reflective, and I'm not sure if someone could, see their reflection per se, because these tiles get cut into pieces that could be as small as a quarter of an inch up to an inch, maybe sometimes a little larger. For this interior mural, we could have some larger pieces, but it's definitely something to consider, even perhaps using some mirrored tile for that very purpose. So I appreciate the creative inspiration. Thank you for the kudos around our design. Something that I will mention that I don't think I pointed out was how we chose to address the space outside, because we had a limited square foot per the budget. And what I felt was a unique opportunity was to turn the mural into what appeared to be windows and create this kind of sacred space of sorts, almost as if you're looking into the stained glass by virtue of mosaic, rather than it being just a solid block or trapezoidal shape. My team and I really kind of drilled down on what could we do to use the entire wall, work within the budget, but at the same time break the mural up to where we feature different facets of the community. And that's how these panels came to light. And again, drawing from what we heard the community say was important to them, really influenced how we approached giving the community space the biggest bang for its buck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I echo my fellow Commissioner Rebecca. Excellent presentation. Beautiful, beautiful project. So I don't see a point of seeing this again. I really would love to move it to a final.
I agree.
So can I have a motion for a final?
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
Thank you, commissioners.
let's do
Thank
it.
you, commissioners. Thank you, Marguerite, and your team. I appreciate y'all's support. I'm excited to bring this vision to life.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion for final approval for the Percent for Art at the Francis J. Myers Recreation Center. Commissioner Troy,
Approve.
Commissioner James, I believe you've returned remotely.
Approved. This is a great project.
Commissioner Pepan,
Approved.
Commissioner Rebecca,
Approved.
Commissioner Carmen,
Enthusiastically approve.
and Commissioner Rayed.
Jealousy, approve. I wish to have it in my cultural center, in my neighborhood.
Thank you. Thank you, Reginald.
We have a cultural center. So with this, next item is next meeting, May 13. Can we have a motion to, any questions? First of all, no? So can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All right. See you next month,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.